the recording. And for those joining with the recording, I'll just let them know that we will be using weights this morning, and you're going to need something at the end of class to slide your feet on the floor, either like maybe some plastic bags if you're on carpeting, or like a towel or a blanket if you're on wood floor. So we are going to begin lying down. You're going to want to have your lighter set of weights within reaching distance, like nearby. And I'm going to move my microphone. And you're going to begin lying down, having those lighter set of weights nearby. And if when you lie down, it's more comfortable to have something under your head, go ahead and put a pillow or blanket under your head. And just have those weights where you can pick them up eventually. But initially, just let your arms be down at your side. Place your feet on the floor. And as you arrive here, just feel how the weight of your body is settling down. And feel how, as your body settles down into the floor is holding you, supporting you. Take this time to bring your awareness to feeling your body. There's the back part of the body and all the places that are in contact with the floor. Feel that. Feel how the head is supported by the floor. Just let the muscles in your face relax. Relax your eyes, relax your jaw. And take a moment and consider softening the roof of your mouth, your soft palate, from right behind your teeth, upper teeth, all the way back towards your molars. Just feel the roof of your mouth becoming soft and broad and spacious. As you relax the muscles in your head and your neck, just feel the front body. Feel your belly. Let it relax. So as you're noticing how your body is feeling and seeing how it can be relaxed as you're lying back, begin to bring your awareness to your breathing. Feel the feeling of your breath as it flows into your body. Feel the feeling of your breath as it flows out of your body. Let your breath slow down and deepen. So the in-breath is full and expansive. And the out-breath is a releasing and a letting go. Notice how the breath moves in your body. Your lungs expand, your ribs expand. And as the breath empties all the way out, give it that time and space to release. Maybe even feel that little moment after the breath is emptied fully. And then that next breath flows in. Focusing on our breath is something we do in the present moment. We can think about all sorts of different things. We can think about the future and the past. But if we focus on our present moment experience, it becomes much more rich. And it's very calming. And life can be challenging. stressful. And it can be really beneficial to spend some time just focusing on the present moment. So here now we're focusing on our breath. We're trying to bring our full attention just to the feeling of our breath in our bodies. For right now, that's enough. We don't need to think about anything else except being here now, lying down, breathing on our mats. In a moment, we'll start to add in movement, and we're going to try to maintain this focus on what we're experiencing in our body so that each moment is done with awareness, with focus, and with intention. So before we begin our movement practice, just consider if you'd like to set an intention this morning. Is there something you'd like to focus on? Something you'd like to breathe into your practice, some quality you'd like to cultivate? Maybe it is just being mindful, paying attention. Or maybe you want to move in a way that's full of love and compassion. Or maybe you want to focus on patience or trust. But if you want to kind of have one focus, kind of take a moment now and consider that and maybe set that intention. Breathe it in. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes if they were closed. Let's take our feet off the floor and just give our knees a hug. Hug them in and just sway a little bit side to side. Just giving your low back a little massage here. We'll sway center. Let's draw the knees apart as you breathe in. You can kind of press your hands on the inside of the legs to kind of open up a bit. And then you can press the knees back together. Let's do that again. We'll just open the knees apart as we breathe in. And then press them back up as we breathe out. We'll take the legs up in the air, releasing our arms, and just alternate flexing and pointing your feet. And maybe circle at the ankle a few times in one direction and then in the other. And then we'll release our feet back down to the floor. And I'd like you to pick up your lighter set of weights now. Grab them in your two hands and take your arms straight up toward the ceiling so the weights are in the heel of your hands. So that weight in your hands transmits down your arm and let it help the back of your shoulders to drop back more into the floor. So the heaviness in your hands is dropping into the back of your shoulders. And as the back of your shoulders rest back into the floor, maybe you can feel a little more broadening across your collarbones. And then take your elbows out wide a little bit. Let your elbows kind of drop down, but don't let them quite touch the floor. So you're holding your elbows a little bit off the floor. And imagine that your collarbones continued out towards your elbows. Take a breath here. And then bring your arms back up toward the ceiling, but try to keep the back of your shoulder on the floor. Let's take our arms overhead now. So the bell of your weight is reaching back toward the floor, and you could let it touch the floor, maybe if your arms go that far. And notice as your arms went overhead, if you pushed your ribs, if your ribs kind of popped up toward the ceiling, or if you arched your back, take a breath in, and on your exhale, kind of knit your ribs back down into your belly. So you're not arching your back as your arms are overhead. And then can you feel the back of your shoulder on the floor? Kind of press the back of your shoulder down as you bring your arms back up toward the ceiling. So we kind of have, what we want to do with all this is reset the shoulders kind of back and open. And then we're going to bend the elbows. So our fists are facing each other and we have our arms kind of a right angle. And we'll take our feet off the floor. We'll have bent knees as well. So we have bent knees, bent arms. We're in our beginning dead bug position. And we're going to just take the arms and legs straight up as we breathe in. And we'll bend arms and knees as we breathe out. So we're just going to go up and down like this, moving with the breath. We're going to inhale as the arms and legs go up and exhale as they bend. So from your shoulder to your elbow, your arms really aren't moving. It's that lower part of your arm that's going up and then bending. So next time you're in the bent position, let's do opposite arm and opposite leg. So one arm and the opposite leg go up and then come back to bent. And then the other arm and the other leg go up and then back to bend. So we're just alternating opposite arm, opposite leg, reaching up and bending down. Kind of working on coordination here, getting the two sides of the body working together. Turning on the two sides of the brain. Yeah. We're moving with our breath. We're just noticing how this feels. Maybe breathing in that intention, that focus for your morning's practice. So we'll just do that one more time. And then we'll go to our next layer of dead bug. We're going to take our arms up and we're going to take our legs up. Now for this part, the weights aren't as important. So if you want to set the weights down, you could. So we're going to draw an imaginary line down the center of the body. We're going to try and keep that line steady. So focus on that midline from your nose, chin, sternum, pubic bone. Keep it steady and take one leg out to the side. How far can that leg go and you can still maintain that midline stability? Take the opposite arm and reach it out to the side. Take a breath and then bring that arm and leg back up. Start to take the other leg out to the other side. How far can you go and maintain that midline stability? And then take the opposite arm and reach it out to the side. Take a breath and then bring that arm and leg back up. So opposite arm, opposite leg, opening out to the side as we breathe in. And then that arm and leg coming back up. And other side. So we're opening out to the side and trying not to let the hips roll or tip or lift. We're keeping the lower body just as it is. That midline steady and stable. Arm and leg open out to the side as we breathe in. And they come back up. So it takes a lot of core strength and stability to keep the midline steady. That's what we're focusing on. That central line of the body, really focusing there. Feeling where our bodies are in space. Very calming to the mind. So let's do each side one more time. Opening out and coming back up and opening out. Nice work. And coming back up. All right. So arms are up in the air, back of the shoulders are dropping back into the floor. This time we're going to take one arm overhead. And again, you don't need to use the weights for this. They're optional. And then the opposite leg, we're going to lower it towards the floor. You could tap a toe or extend that leg out close to the floor and then bring that arm and leg back up. And then other arm goes overhead and other leg either taps or extends. And then that arm and leg come back up. So let's inhale as the arm and leg go out and exhale as they come back up. And just continue this movement. So again, focusing on the movement and on the breath. Yeah, the body knows how to support itself. So the core muscles are going to kick in to support the extension of the leg. Shoulder muscles are doing the work. And we're just focusing on the breath and how this feels. So maybe we'll do one more on each side. Inhale as the arm and leg go out. Exhale as they come back up. And last one. Nice job. All right, last dead bug series here. We're going to take the arms overhead. Again, keep your ribs from popping up toward the ceiling. And then press out through your heels. Take a breath and start to lower your legs away from you. And go slowly. And what we want to do is to see what happens in the low back here. The low back, as the legs lower, is going to want to lift up off the floor. And we're going to try and minimize that. At a certain point, if you can't keep the back from arching more than a little bit, draw your knees in and take your legs back up. And then press out through your heels and lower the legs away from you. See how far you can go before you lose that control, and then draw your knees in, inhale your legs up. Let's do this a couple more times. So really paying attention. The low belly is going to fire to support the low back. And at some point, you're going to want to draw your knees in, inhale the legs up. This will be our last one. Pressing out through the heels, extending the legs away. We're going to draw the knees in. Let's bring the arms up. And we'll take our arms down at our side. We'll drop the weights down and we can hug the knees in. Nice job. You can sway a little bit here. And then let's release our feet down. And we're going to roll to the side so that we're going to face our device, your computer, whatever, your laptop. So we're going to lie on our side and we're going to let our head rest on our bottom arm, any way that's comfortable for you, or you could have a pillow or a blanket under there. Let's take our knees and bring them forward so they're like a right angle to the body. Stack the knees, so we'll have one hip on top of the other. And then pick up the weight that is probably right there. Bring your elbow by your waist. So we're going to hug our elbow into our waist. We have our fist pointing the floor. And then we're going to lift the arm up, keeping the elbow close to your waist. We're going to take that arm up and try not to cock your wrist back. Just have your wrist stay as it is. So the arm is going to lower parallel to the floor, and then we're going to take it up, keeping the elbow by the waist. So we're lowering down. Now, as we lift the arm, we could keep our feet together and lift the knee up as well. So we can just start to wake up the muscles of the hip as well. So we're going up and down, up and down. So the feet stay together, the knee lifts up, and the elbow stays by the waist as the arm goes up. So we're working the back of the shoulder here, the rotator muscles. We're warming up the muscles of the hip. We're breathing with this movement, inhaling and exhaling. Can we keep the wrist straight? Can we keep the elbow by the waist? Let's do a few more of these. 4 more. And 3 more. If the weight gets too heavy, you can just do this, put the weight down and just have a fist in your hand. Let's do 1 more, up and down. Good job. Put your weight down, push yourself up, and just swing around the other way. So you're on the other side, you can still see the camera. You're going to lower down, support your head in some way, stack your knees so your hips are stacked. Pick up the weight, bring your elbow by your waist, your fist is facing the floor, and then keeping the elbow in, lift up, fist toward the ceiling. Try not to cock your wrist back, and then bring it parallel to the floor again. So the arm goes up and the feet can stay together, the knee can go up. So when the knee comes up, the tendency is to kind of roll back. Let's try not to roll back. We're going to keep the hips stacked and just lift the knee. So we go up toward the ceiling with the arm and we come parallel to the floor. And you may start to notice the work in the back of the shoulder here. Those muscles tend to be kind of overstretched and weak from all the work we do, like in front of our bodies. So this is an important thing to do, is to strengthen the back of the shoulder here. So let's do a few more of these. We can inhale as we go up and exhale as we come down. You're doing great. If it starts to be a bit much with the weight, you could put the weight down and just do this motion with a fist in your hand. Let's just do a couple more, just maybe 2 more. Lifting up And coming back parallel to the floor. And last one. Nice work. All right, set the weight down. We're going to make our way onto all fours. So as we come onto all fours, get your knees right under your hips, your hands, wrists right beneath shoulders. You can take a moment here and just kind of move around. Move your hips, move your shoulders, maybe move your head a little bit. Maybe you can arch your back into more of a cow pose or round. Just move in a way that kind of feels good, kind of frees you up, loosens you up a little bit. And then come back to your flat back. So you probably have this weight, a weight nearby. You could probably use your lighter weight or your heavier weight for this next exercise. We're going to do a tricep extension. So we're going to put our elbow by our waist, and we're just going to extend the lower arm straight back. So keeping that upper arm as it is, we're just going to hinge in and extend back. Bend in and extend back. And we can just do the arm movement, or the next time you hinge in, can you take the opposite leg and press back through that heel? And then as you hold that leg back, you can do this tricep extension. So you could have your knee on the ground or your leg extended back, and you're doing that hinging motion with your arm, pressing back and bending in, pressing back and bending in. Let's do a few more. That leg that's extending, you're really pushing out through the heel and pulling the toe to the floor. Next time your arm goes back, just hold it back there. Hold it back there. Reach back through the hand, reach back through the heel, take a breath. And then you can bring the knee down. Go ahead and set the weight down and then put it on the other side, where I'm going to turn so you can see my arm better. But we're going to use the other hand now. So pick that weight up, bring your elbow by your waist, and just extend the lower arm straight back, and then bend it in. Straight back. Go all the way straight back till you feel the back part of the upper arm engage. Get that tricep to work. And you could just do the arm motion, or you could take the opposite leg as the arm that's holding the weight and extend back through that heel. And just hold that leg extension as the arm bends back and bends in. Focus on your breath. Feel that steadiness in your body. What's your intention this morning? Are you breathing that in? And the next time your arm goes back, just hold it back there. Reach back with the hand, press out through the heel, take a breath. And then you can release the weight, drop the knee down. Let's sit back into child's pose. So sit back on your heels, round over your legs, release your forehead onto the floor or maybe onto your bent arms. Take a moment here to just breathe. Feel. Maybe appreciate yourself for doing this morning, making this a priority. Then with your next inhale, lift your head up, reach your arms way out in front. Make your way up onto knees, curl the toes under. Let's make our way up to downward facing dog. Let's really feel our hands rooting into the mat, spreading the weight into fingers, thumbs, knuckles. We'll draw our hips way up and back as we breathe in. Let's let the breath empty. Do that again, deep breath in and a big. We'll bend a knee and press a heel down, and then bend the other knee and press the other heel down. You can keep breathing deeply as you alternate heels. You might release your head a little bit, shake your head a little bit, release your neck. Couple more deep breaths here as we're upside down. And And then let's bend both knees a bit. Draw the hips way up and back as we take another breath in. As the breath empties out, you can start to walk your hands back towards your feet, dropping your heels down, ending up folded over, bent knees. We'll take a breath in here. As the breath empties, keep your knees soft, start to draw your belly in and begin to roll yourself up. Just take a little time here to unfurl your spine, stack your vertebrae, root your feet down as your head comes up. And then when you're ready, you can turn towards your device and we're going to use some weights. You could probably use your heavier weights here, probably either one, lighter or heavier. So we're going to just stand with our feet in sort of squat position. So maybe slightly wider than right under your hips with your toes angled out just a bit. Let's bring the weights up by our shoulders. So we're going to sit back into a squat. So the knees are tracking in the direction of the toes. You decide how far down you want to go. And then we're going to push up to stand and we're going to reach the arms overhead. So we're going to sit down and then reach the arms overhead. So we're going to sit down. As the arms reach overhead, we could lift our heels up. So drop the heels and squat. Come up and press up. Drop the heels and squat. Come up, press up. Yeah. So waking up the legs now. Waking up the ankles, muscles in the feet, and the shoulders. Yeah. So we can breathe in as we stretch up, exhale as we come down. Let's do a few more of these. Trying to build strength in the ankles, in the lower leg and the upper leg. Let's do two more. Sit and press and sit and press. Nice work. All right, we're going to set the weights down for a moment, for a while, and we're going to do some flow. So come and stand at the front of your mat. Take a moment to really feel your feet firmly on the ground. Press down to rise up. Take your arms and reach them out wide and broaden between your shoulder blades, across your back, across your collarbones, all the way out to your fingertips. As you root down, breathe in and reach your arms up. Lift the ribs, lift the shoulders, lengthen, and then sweep the arms out and swan dive forward. Knees can be soft as you fold over. Just release your head here. Take a breath in and extend through the crown of your head. Come halfway up, lengthen. Exhale and release. Let's bring our hands to the mat and step back to downward facing dog. Pressing the hands into the mat as the hips draw way up and back. We'll take a breath in. And let's exhale to straight arm plank. Pushing the floor away, getting nice and long from heel to crown. So we could be here. We could also have our knees down if that's better for us. We're going to hold this position for a while. So really spread the weight out into the hands, the fingers, the thumbs. If your wrists cause you a little challenge, drop to your knees, put a little weight, less weight on them. We'll take a breath here. And then as we exhale, try a little bend in your elbows. Just a little bend, elbows pointing back towards your feet. Try not to let your hips sink here. Hold that nice long alignment, or maybe lift your hips a half an inch higher. Take another breath. And then push your arms down, lift your hips up and back. Back to down dog. Take a breath here. Exhale again to straight arm plank. Nice and strong here. Take a breath. Exhale, little bend in the elbows, not letting those hips drop. Take another breath. And we're going to lower down. You might drop to your knees first. We're going to lower onto belly. All right. Let your chest sink down. Slide the heels of your hands back a bit. Get that face really close to the floor. Chin and nose just barely lifted off the floor. Reach back through the toes, lengthen through your crown. As you inhale, start to lift your chest up. Start to pull your heart forward as the heels of your hands press back. Nice, long, extended baby cobra. We could lift our hands off the floor. Let's do that and hug the elbows in. Squeeze the shoulder blades in toward the midline. And then release the hands, release the chest. Let's do that again. Inhale up to baby cobra. Just extending through the upper back. If we like, we could push down and come up a bit higher into cobra. And then let's lower back down. All right, let's push back to knees and take the hips back and then come forward and lower down. So we're gonna push up and take the hips back and come forward and lower down. A couple more like this. So these are just different style of push-up. The arms are close to the body, so we're kind of working the triceps a little bit more. If you're on a wood floor and this is bothering your knees, just maybe cushion them a little bit with a blanket or something. We're going to do a few more of these. Coming back and down, and pushing up and back. Let's do 2 more. The next time you make your way all the way down, we're going to stay there. Let's bring our forearms underneath us now. So measure fingertip to elbow, elbow to fingertip. So your elbows are right under your shoulders. Then slice down with your forearms to lift your chest up. So right now we have our hips on the floor. We're going to curl the toes under and we're going to lift the hips up. So we could be here in a kneeling forearm plank. You might bring your knees a little closer, or you could lift your knees up and be in a full forearm plank. So either way, you're pushing your forearms down, creating space across your upper back, and the core is really firing here, right? You can fire up the legs as well. Could you lift your hips a 1/2 inch just to create a little more engagement? Maybe lift the hips a little higher and do a little circle around. Little circles out to the side, down, side, up, little circles. We'll do a couple more in this direction. You could be doing this on your knees as well. Let's circle the other way. Circle up and around. We call this stirring the pot. Up and around. One more time. Up and around. Good job. Hold here for a breath. And then you can drop to knees. Release the hips down. Let's take the arms wide and rest our head on our hands. Let everything relax for a moment here. Shoulders, neck, arms. Breathe deeply. Just inhabit the present moment. What are you inviting in this morning? As we're here, let's start to press the hips down, and then we're going to lift the legs up. You can point your toes. So your legs are lifted. Can you hug your heels in towards your midline and then separate your legs? Hug your heels in towards your midline and then separate. Hug them in and separate, and hug them in and separate. Lift them up a little bit higher with a breath and then release them down. Nice job. Bring your arms alongside your body, palms up, hovering your head now. Starting the same way, we're going to press the hips down and lift the legs up. And then reaching back with the fingertips, let's start to inhale and lift the chest up. Yeah, nice and long here. Reaching back through the toes, pulling that sternum forward. Could you lift the legs a bit more? Could you lift the chest a bit more? Could you press your palms up a bit more? Take one more breath here. Nice work. And then lower down. Great. Let's bring our hands back next to chest. Push the weight back. Take the hips back. We're going to curl the toes under and come up to downward facing dog. Breathe in and out here. And again, let's walk our hands back towards our feet, dropping our heels down. As we're here in this forward fold, feet hip distance, we're gonna let the knees bend and the hips lower down. We'll sweep our arms forward. So we're sitting back in our chair. Nice. Take the arm closest to your camera, sweep it back and open it behind you. Try to keep your knees parallel as you twist your upper body and take a breath. Sweep that arm down and bring it back out in front. Take the other arm, sweep it down and back behind you. Keep your knees parallel as you open and twist in that direction. Breathe, and then sweep that arm down and in front. Let's bring the arms up alongside the ears. We'll push into our feet and legs. Inhale and rise up. And exhale, arms releasing down. Nice work. All right, let's pick up our weights. Probably your heavier weights would be appropriate for this. Well, we'll see. It's always nice to have the two sets of weights around because sometimes it's too heavy and sometimes it's too light. So we'll see. Okay, so we're gonna stand at the front of our mat with your feet hip distance apart. You can bring your weights kind of by your chest. And we're gonna, again, sit back like we're sitting back in a chair. And then take one leg and step it way back into a lunge. Your feet are still hip distance apart. All right, so let's straighten up a little bit. We can drop our arms, straighten both legs. So we're gonna bend both knees. Back knee is gonna bend down, front knee is gonna bend forward. And as we do that, we're just gonna bicep curl. And then we're gonna straighten and lower. So we're gonna bend and lower. Curl and lower. Yeah. So that front foot is solidly planted, pushing down to straighten the front leg. You can kind of turn on the low belly muscles a little bit, providing a little support for the low back. That back knee dropping as close to the floor as is right for you this morning. We'll do a few more of these. Nice work. All right, one more. And then I want you to lean forward and bend the front knee. And then drop your arms down. So there's kind of a nice long line, leg and spine leaning forward. We're gonna take the arms and laterally lift them and lower down. Lift out to the side and lower down. So again, these muscles are not as strong. So the heavier weights might be a little more challenging here. So we're lateral raise. Let's alternate with a row. So we're gonna lift the elbows up and drop. Lateral raise and then row up, close to your body and down. Lateral raise and row. One more time. Lateral raise and row. Good job. All right, can we step the back foot in? So we're sitting into our chair and then we'll straighten up. Good job. All right, I'm just gonna turn the other way. You don't have to necessarily. We're gonna sit back and we're gonna step back with the other foot. Take a big step back. So your feet are hip distance. Make sure you're not on a balance beam. And then straighten your front leg. Yeah, so this back heel can be lifted. So your hips can be square forward, the short line of your mat. And then we're gonna bend both knees. Back knee bends down, front knee bends as well, and we'll curl. And then we'll lower. So bend and curl, push down and lower. Curl and lower. So let's focus on grounding through the front foot, moving with our breath, and maybe infusing this movement with our intention. Are we being kind and loving to ourselves? Are we being patient with ourselves? Maybe there's something else you're infusing this morning. Let's do 4 more. job. All right, next time your legs are straight, we're gonna bend the front knee and lean forward, let the arms drop straight down. And then we're gonna lateral raise out to the side. We'll do a few of these, out to the side and lower, out to the side and lower. Now let's add a row. So we're gonna pull up by your waist, elbows come up and drop down. Lateral raise, and then row up. Drop down, lateral raise, and then row up. 2 more. Lateral raise, and row up. Last one. Lateral raise, and row up. Good job. Let's put the weight into the front foot, step the back foot in, and then straighten up. Good job. All right. Just one more thing with weights. We're gonna step our feet wide. We'll turn the right foot in, turn the left foot out. And we're just gonna bend into this front knee. So you wanna come down however far works for you, knee coming, ending up kind of over the ankle, where our upper body's upright, we're not leaned over. And bring your elbows in by your waist, your fists towards the ceiling. So the leg action is just gonna be bending and straightening. And as we bend the knee, reach out with this arm, and then as you straighten the leg, pull, rather than pulling the elbow into your waist, pull it kind of back and squeeze your shoulder blade in towards your spine. So bend and reach out and squeeze back. Bend and reach out and squeeze back. Bend and reach out, squeeze back. Now, do that with the other arm. Reach out and squeeze back. Reach out, squeeze. So you're kind of squeezing your shoulder blade in towards your spine. Make sure you're not pushing your ribs forward or arching your back. Let's do both arms now. Reach out, squeeze in. Reach out, squeeze in. Reach out, squeeze in. Last one like this. Good. All right, let's change legs. So feet turn forward, and then left foot turns in, right foot turns out. We're gonna bend this knee, find a nice alignment here, not leaning over. We'll same thing, bring elbows by our waist. So the leg action is just bending and straightening. And as the knee bends, we're gonna reach out. We're gonna pull that elbow a little bit behind, squeezing the shoulder blade in towards the spine. Reach out, squeeze in. Reach out, squeeze in. Reach out, squeeze in. Try with the other arm. Reach out, squeeze in. Reach out, squeeze in. Out, squeeze. And now we're going to do both arms. So both arms reach out and squeeze in. Reach out, squeeze in. 2 more. Squeeze in. Last one. Good job. All right. Turn your feet forward. You can walk your feet in, you can jump your feet in. All right, here's where we're going to make our way down to the floor. And we're going to target the back of the thighs. So we want to maintain knee health, ankle health, so that we can have good balance. And having strong knees provides strong, or we need strong hamstrings. So you're going to want to have your feet off of your mat on your floor. So again, if your floor is wood, you're going to want to place your heels on like a blanket or something. This floor of mine is kind of sticky. So what I found works is to put your feet into a plastic bag and just kind of tie it, because that's a way to slide. Some places, some carpets, you can put your heels on a paper plate. I have found that the paper plate doesn't work. But the goal is to have a way for your heels to slide kind of on the ground. So hopefully you all have some way to feel your heels sliding. So whatever, you're gonna put your, lie down with your body off of your mat, at least your feet off of your mat, And your feet can come in close enough that they're quite up close to your bum, right? Have your feet hip distance apart. So your feet are on the floor, but now lift your forefoot up. So just your heels are on the floor, and then push your heels into the floor and slide your legs out straight. And then press your heels into the floor and slide your heels back in towards you. So press your heels down and slide your legs out straight, and press your heels down and slide them back in close. And so what we're doing, we're just going to keep this motion, is as the heels press down and the heels slide in, you might notice how your hamstrings have to fire to create this movement. And they're working as they lengthen, and they're working as they shorten. So this is a way to work the muscle eccentrically and concentrically, which is a really intelligent way to build strength in a muscle. Because we're pressing down the whole time as the legs go straight and as the heels draw in. We're going to do this a few more times in this format, in this direction. And hopefully you're starting to feel some work in the back of the thigh. And then the next time your legs are straight, take a break. Just let your legs relax. And when we let our legs relax, for most of us, our feet are going to drop open into external rotation. And that's how we're going to approach this next layer of this exercise. I want you to have your feet turned out, press your heels into the floor and slide your heels in close. So your knees are a little wider, your toes are turned out, it's kind of froggy. And then push your heels away. Keep your feet externally rotated. So slide in close and then press and straighten. And the whole time your feet are rotated out, so your knees are a little wider. And you're pressing down, so there's some work, some resistance in both directions. Sliding the heels in and sliding the heels out. You can do this with your breath. In breath and out breath, one with each movement. Doesn't really matter which direction you're breathing with. Just synchronizing the movement and the breath. And let's do this a couple more times. So if you have more resistance, you might, fatigue before me, and so you can take a break sooner if you need to. The next time your legs are straight, just let them relax, give them a little break. And then our final layer like this is we're going to separate the feet a little wider than the hips and turn the toes in a little. And then same thing, press your heels down and slide in, and then press and extend. So with a little internal rotation, so we're targeting the inner hamstrings. We have 3 hamstrings, and we're targeting all 3. So we have that internal rotation as we slide in and as we straighten. The harder you press your heels down, the harder you'll work, right? If you're pressing lightly, there's going to be a little bit of engagement. If you're pressing really hard, you're going to get a little more work. So what's the right amount for you today? Let's do a few more in this orientation. And then the next time your legs are straight, just take another break. Let everything relax. Breathe in and out. All right. You can slide your feet in, and if you got a bag on your feet, you might want to take it off. Let's make our way to lying down in our normal orientation on our mats. And we're going to hug the knees in. And we're going to finish up with clamshell. So roll to your side so you're facing your device, and your knees are going to stack one on top of the other. Take your bottom arm out on the floor in front of you. Take your other hand and place palm to palm. Then we're going to bring our knees up close to our elbows. Let's take this top arm now, reach it up toward the ceiling, Reach it back behind you, rolling your chest and your gaze up toward the ceiling. Try to keep your knees stacked. As that arm reaches back, we're going to breathe deeply now. So feel the breath moving in and down as you breathe in. And then we're going to let the breath empty all the way out. You might blow it out here, or sigh it out, or ha it out. So deep breaths in our twist. And as we exhale, this is a chance to let things go. So if there's something you've been holding on to, some anger or resentment or frustration, see if you can just release it now with your exhalation. Here's our chance. Those things that kind of hold us back, that weigh us down, we can let them go. So 1 or 2 more deep breaths here. And then that arm from behind, you can bring it up and bring it back down. And then let's roll to the other side. Roll all the way to the other side so that, again, your knees are stacked, your bottom arm is out on the floor in front of you. Take your top hand and just match it palm to palm. Bring your knees up close to your elbows. And then take the top arm, reach it up, reach it back behind you. Try to not let that top knee roll back. Keep your knees stacked. And as you're lying back, find your breath, deepen your breath, and allow your exhale to empty fully and completely. And let each exhalation be an opportunity for letting go, releasing. One more deep breath in and out. And then that arm from behind can come back up and come back down. And we're going to start to transition to our final relaxation now. So I encourage you at this point in the practice to take some time to set yourself up to be really comfortable. So you might want to put a blanket over you, or put a pillow under your head, or maybe support under your knees, or maybe if it's chilly, you want to put on a layer or put on your socks. So take that time to set yourself up so that you can be warm and comfortable. This final pose is a really vital part of our yoga practice, especially in a practice like we've just done, where we've really activated all kinds of muscles. Now they're all really primed for relaxation. So as we lie back, they're ready to relax. Similar to that tense and release kind of way of relaxing, where you tense a muscle and then you relax it. It'll relax a little more fully. Well, we just tensed a lot of muscles. We worked a lot of muscles. And so they're primed for relaxation now. So all we are going to do is give them that opportunity to relax. To let the body begin to settle into a comfortable, relaxed state. Our natural state. Our natural state is to be at ease. Modern life tends to keep us on edge. But this state of just being at ease is how we are naturally. But we can go through a whole day just constantly being active and engaged. So here now we create this opportunity to connect with what it feels like to be in our natural relaxed state. The body relaxing, feeling heavy arms and legs. The belly relaxing, the gut unclenched. The shoulders relaxing, releasing, creating a sense of openness in the area of the heart. The head releasing back, allowing all of the facial muscles to soften and smooth. And as the body relaxes, just letting the mind come along, letting it rest. This is us. Peaceful, calm, grounded. I'll share with you a little reading as you're lying back from Dana Falls. She says, settle in the here and now. Reach down into the center where the world is not spinning and drink this holy peace. Feel relief flood into every cell. Nothing to do, nothing to be but what you are already. Nothing to receive but what flows effortlessly from the mystery into form. Nothing to run from or run toward. Just this breath, awareness, knowing itself as embodiment. Just this breath, awareness, waking up to truth. And of course, the truth is that what we have is the present moment. This gift of being alive in this moment. So you might want to spend some more time lying down, and that would be fine. You might be ready to transition. And if you are, you might open your eyes. You might bring your feet to the floor. You might gently roll to your side. Spending a little time there, transitioning. And you could make your way up to sitting if you're ready. And we might take our final few moments for just some quiet reflection. Perhaps considering how we want to move forward into our day. And a deep gratitude. Peace. So, as always, you're welcome to come and share some hellos, goodbyes, some news, some questions, or you can always just head off on your day, whatever.
Happy Thanksgiving, Carrie.